Hark! I bring a message from the creator. He thinks it best we go over the lingo up front, so you're not confused during the tour. If you just want to skip to learning the route already, at least watch the fundamentals section first, so you have a firmer grip on how to move in the game at least. You can refer back to this section like a speedrunner's manual of sorts, when you're ready to learn more.
Pre-strafing. The gateway to going fast. Speed in Dark Messiah is measured in whole number units, easily counted through the aid of a console command. We can use this to see our base run speed is 270 units. We can also see that if we slightly turn while sprinting forward, that our speed exceeds 270 units temporarily. If, during the turn when your velocity is at its highest, you perform a jump input, we will maintain the speed until we land again, where the friction from the ground slows us back down. This tech serves as the catalyst that lets b-hopping take form. B-hopping. This is a source game after all, so you might expect it to have some form of b-hop. However, Dark Messiah's application of b-hop is not entirely an analog to other forms of b-hopping you may be familiar with. It is most directly comparable to Left 4 Dead 2's style of b-hop, since you cannot bind your mouse wheel to help with jump inputs in either of these games. While Left 4 Dead 2 is known for having a more difficult b-hopping style due to this quirk, the chief difference in what makes Dark Messiah's style so unique from other source games lies in the jump window. Pressing jump anywhere within this window will result in a perfect b-hop where the player is never counted as touching the ground, therefore never has friction applied to them and can continue landing jumps within this window to maintain and even build speed. An additional quirk of Dark Messiah is the longer you hold your jump input, the longer your jump will last. As a rule, it's best to extend your jump as much as possible, so you'll need to perform less jump inputs overall. Exceptions to the rule are when you might need to space your b-hops to avoid hitting your head on doorways or to avoid landing in undesirable locations. To start a b-hop, begin with a half-circle pre-strafe, then jump and let go of W and Shift. When airborne, always move your character with either A or D, depending on which direction you want to go. Once you've pressed the directional key, drag your mouse slowly in the same direction. You want to time it so the directional key is preferably pressed first, but the inputs happen consecutively, one after another. Gaps in this timing will cause unwanted strafes that greatly lower your speed, so take care to synchronize the inputs properly. Then, when you're about to land, press jump a little before you touch the ground. The timing is pretty generous, but be mindful of changes in elevation. You'll find these piles of bones in the first hallway will move the b-hop window up and down as it goes along. If you get it right, you should preserve your momentum from the first initial jump into a consecutive one. Before addressing our final fundamental, I recommend you practice what you've learned so far. The start of the game is a fantastic area for practicing. If you can manage a clean line over top these tricky bone piles, you'll quickly master these movement mechanics. Try timing yourself. How long does it take you to reach the back wall from starting a run? Think you can beat 23 seconds? That's it for b-hopping. But what if we're going upstairs? Or if we just don't have the space for a b-hop?
Wall strafing.
By looking approximately 53 degrees into a wall and sprinting, you'll move near twice as fast as your normal run speed. This works a little differently, however, when crouching through a tight space. Here, you want to hold both forwards and sideways into the wall with either A or D, depending on which side of the crawl space you're wall strafing. The angle you want to look at is also much sharper than when standing. When in a crawl space, you want to be looking around 8 degrees into the wall. That does it for the basics. Pretty simple movement system all in all.
Would be a shame if some unsightly speed tech
Pause launch. Another feature unique to Dark Messiah is its pause mechanic. Seemingly useless at a glance, this feature could be avoided by pressing escape to take a break, as is common for many games. However, when using this built-in pause feature, some logic in the game still fires in the background. Furthermore, while on the very edge of certain ledges, the developers implemented code that would apply a small pushing force to the player in the direction of safety. Well, that was the idea, at least.
Master Fenrir rarely tells everything he
With this knowledge, it was found that by pausing on the edge of a ledge, the small pushing force is continually applied to the player for as long as you stay paused, and sends you flying when you stop. Most setups involving the pause launch require the player to have a counting method of some kind. The majority of players just look over at their live split timer and count up from wherever the timer is when they make eye contact. Personally, I tap my feet, so I don't have to think as much. So long as you have a consistent way of counting, you can do whatever you'd like. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll use seconds when talking about setups later on. There's one more trick that could aid you in your flight. We call it feather falling. As mentioned earlier, your jump can be elongated by holding the button down for longer. But what if I told you we could go further? Arguably the fourth fundamental, feather falling is a versatile tech that can be applied situationally throughout the entire run. To perform it, you need to press jump, release, and repress jump as fast as possible, over and over. Prop freeze. By holding an item with telekinesis and performing a quick save quick load, you can freeze the prop in place at any point by switching off telekinesis. This can be done to make custom ramps to launch from, or to make warps easier to perform. We'll come back to warping later. Item freeze. Dragging an item outside of your inventory will normally drop it onto the ground. However, if you perform this action while paused, then quick save quick load, the item will be frozen hovering in the air. This trick has a few different applications, one of which is the super lean. At first, when you freeze an item, could be a book or a potion or anything really, you come out of the load standing inside of the item's collision. This has a side effect of making the player's lean left and lean right functions go farther than intended, thus allowing us the ability to interact with objects through walls. Now, possibly the most helpful item in the game for speedrunning. The ring. When pressed, any animations currently playing out get cancelled, freeing the player from their restrictions. This allows us to do things like control our character after they've started the falling animation. You're even able to affect the outcomes of certain clips and boosts, which we'll be covering next. You'll want to bind the ring to a key you can press comfortably often, but which slot you bind will depend on your own personal item management as you learn the run. Without further ado, let's introduce the three types of clips. Prop clip. A prop must fit two prerequisites for it to be valid for a prop clip. It must be 1. Holdable by the player. It doesn't go into your inventory. And 2. Big enough for the player to get partially stuck inside. A good example would be a box, and a bad example would be something like a cup. Once you have a prop, position yourself up against the wall you want to go through. Then, look down at your feet. Take note, different prop clips throughout the run will have slight variances. Some might have you look slightly up from this position, while others may ask you to hold certain inputs while clipping. Now, hold left click to prime your throw. Jump, and then immediately let go of left click. By throwing the box at your feet while jumping, you get stuck in its collision. The game attempts to free you by placing the player on the nearest available pathing node. If there is an available pathing node closer to you than your target destination, then you will be teleported there instead. As such, some setups might require you to block off some pathing nodes to account for this. Climb clip. Similar in outcome, very dissimilar in execution, this method of clipping is more convenient as it can be done with much less setup. Despite its convenience, this tech is rather difficult, so I will show some alternate paths in the beginner route where applicable. Still, I highly recommend you practice this tech, as it saves quite a bit of time throughout the run. To perform a climb clip, start with an item freeze, roughly 2 player lengths away from the wall you want to go through. Once you've left the item's bounds, you can still fully interact with that object. You can pick it back up if you need to reposition it, or you could even use it as a ledge to climb on top. But it's putting these two things together that allows us to perform a new kind of clip. When you pick up any item that goes into your inventory, it gets transported from its position to the player's coordinates with speed. This is likely to make it look like the player is picking the item up directly. However, if we initiate a climb first by holding W into the book and pressing jump, then approximately 2 ticks later attempt to pick up the book, Both actions will try to happen at the same time. As a result, the item is not able to complete its journey to the player until the player has completed the climbing animation. The speed given to the item is then extended from this action, and since the player is climbing the item, the player moves along with it. If you climb the book without picking it up, then you picked it up too slow. If you pick up the book without climbing it, you tried picking it up too fast. Climb first, grab second. 2 ticks apart. Mantle warp. Warps are technically clips, right? This trick is a lot like climb clipping. It uses the same inputs and the same timing. The only difference is you use a prop instead of an item, and must climb on world geometry instead of the item. We can only guess as to why this happens. The warp is essentially just doubling your coordinates. So our best guess is the prop tries to go into your hands and fails because you're climbing a ledge. But for some reason, the game then assigns the leftover coordinates of the prop to the coordinates of the player, instantly moving the player to the new coordinates, since the position and coordinates must always match. To show you how it works, let's look at the first warp you'll come across in the run. At the start of the warehouse split, there's a barrel next to this fence. The fence counts as world geometry, and this barrel is our prop. We position the barrel in front of us, then climb backwards on this fence before releasing halfway. Now we're ready to go for the trick. While falling back down, quickly look down at the prop, and still holding backwards into the fence, press climb, followed by a grab, 2 ticks apart, just like with the climb clip. Here's what attempting this should look like. When done properly, you'll end up here, teleported beneath the warehouse into the cave system near the end of the level. You'll also immediately come to the right then through this door to find the ring we'll be using. Once you have this ring, every mantle warp after the first one will be made way easier. To show you how this works, let's look at the second warp you'll come across in the route. Watch my inputs. I start the same with a climb input. I then immediately press my ring bind. Then I start spamming grab. It should be pretty apparent that it's working because it is significantly easier than the normal timing. Finally, the mechanic that single-handedly saves the most time throughout the speedrun. Let's talk about weapon boosting. Sword boosting. Weapon boosting is made possible through this starting skill, Melee Combat 1, a skill that allows the player the ability to do heavy attacks. Heavy attacks give the player a sudden boost of speed, but it is quickly killed by the ground's friction. However, by jumping immediately after performing the heavy attack, you can keep this speed and use it to start a B-hop chain. The inputs to pull this off slowed down are like so. Hold left click to prime a heavy attack. When you're ready, hold W and shift to enter ready position. From the ready position, all you do at this point is release left click, then press space directly thereafter. The sooner you jump after releasing left click, the more speed you will keep. Dagger boosting. More commonly referred to as double dagger boosting, or its shorthand DDB. This version of weapon boosting is superior due to its unique heavy attack. With daggers, you perform 2 swings, each giving you a boost of speed. It is slightly different to perform than a normal weapon boost. Instead of simply releasing left click and jumping, you release left click, then immediately repress and hold left click again, then jump. Slow down, the inputs go like this. Get into ready position by holding left click and sprint forward. Release left click, then immediately repress and hold. Then jump as soon as possible. Again, the sooner the jump input is after your repress, the more speed will be kept. Triple dagger boosting. Normally, an animation plays out during a double dagger boost. Using the ring, however, we can cancel it to start another double dagger boost even sooner. If you tap the ring at the correct timing, you can cancel the first double dagger boost animation and start another one, but still get the second boost from the initial double dagger boost that you canceled. The specific timing of when to press the ring after the first double dagger boost is shortly before you land. Note that the timing won't work if you full jump, it needs to be from a tap jump. As soon as your daggers fully extend during this part of the animation, this should also work as a visual indicator of when to tap ring. When landing, ready and perform a double dagger boost to happen as soon as you touch the ground to maximize speed.
Congratulations. If you can wrap your head even halfway around what you just watched, you'll be an incredible runner in no time. With the definitions out of the way, I'd say you're perfectly ready to follow along with the beginner route. So, without further ado,
welcome everyone to the beginner's tutorial route for any percent inbounds, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. If you haven't, I'd recommend you go back and watch the fundamentals section now, or at least the beginning point, and then you can reference it back whenever I bring up something that you haven't heard of before. As well as if you haven't watched the setup video yet, I highly encourage you to do so. So we're going to get straight into it. We're going to go to the very beginning of the game. And from this point, we're going to start a B-hop down this hall. You know, you're going to grab the spider key and you're going to put it in the spider door. This door takes about 6.5 seconds to open, so you can take this time to move dark vision if you want. You can set up a B-hop, try to go through the door like that. It's best to approach from the right instead of the left, so you can hit this part of the door and slide on through. In this room, there is a lever that controls this gate. However, there is a bump in the ground here that is a pressure plate. It will cause the gate to close, but if you just sprint through, you should make it. However, I'd recommend you just continue the B-hop from the previous room. In this room, there's a load-bearing beam here that holds up this rope. Best to create a save here just to practice this section, but you're going to kick, come up here, strafe, hit the rope. And you see how my vision went all crazy mode? You can prevent that. How you do it is you just save load as you're jumping towards the rope. I just save load, and that causes the rope to enter its default state. So then you can just climb. So I'll reload that save, and I'll hold W shift. I'm already climbing. You'll climb up here. You'll climb up here. You're going to grab this box, turn, and right-click to drop it. Same thing. Do it twice. And on the third turn, you're going to kick, grab, sprint forward, and crouch to keep some speed into this. You're going to wall strafe this wall on the right. I'll turn on dark vision so you can see blue. Or actually, in post, I'll turn up the brightness. But yeah, the dark vision spells all you got here. So yeah, maybe you can see now, maybe you can. I'm not sure what I've done. But yeah, you wall strafe here, and then it opens up. The wall ends, and you'll have to... If I just walk, you'll see my velocity is 50 when I'm not turning. Right there, it's 50. When I wall strafe, it's like 90 maximum. And then through here, if you spam A and D, you're just going to mash A and D like this. And you can see I get up to like 78, like 65, 78, around about there. So you're averaging about 70 speed. So you're going to wall strafe right here, AD spam. And then as soon as your player model kind of stands up, you'll save load like that. And then you're in running man position. You can come down here and throw this box through this hole by releasing left click and then double tapping tab. We double tap tab because it allows us to move freely quicker. I'll show you what that looks like. If I hold forward and shift and run, I can't run forward until like 1.5 seconds passes because you're like in a throwing animation. But if you just press tab, you can move immediately. But your tab menu is open, so that's why I say double press tab. You're going to tab like this, and you can move immediately. So when you throw the box through here, it should land somewhere in here. You're going to drop down and ignore it. You're going to pre-strafe up here, grab the sword. And you're going to double tap the sword. It happens to be in the 1 slot for me, so I'm going to double tap 1. This is because if I single tap 1, like this, it's just going to pull out the sword and kind of show it off. If I double tap 1 and click, you're going to see I kind of bring out the sword much faster. So the fastest way to bring out the sword is to double tap it and then click like this. Grab this. You're going to cut this rope, which will drop this sarcophagus into that wall, allowing us to progress. So you can create a save here if you want, but I also have this save. This save will take you right to where we're at right now, actually. I can just click it. You'll be able to practice the prologue from this position. So anyway, you're going to come here, you're going to grab the box, you're going to toss it at the zombie. He has to fall down through the hole in order for it to progress. If he just collapses right here, you can give him a kick. Careful not to take this box and to jump and fall too far forward, or you'll drop the box because of entering the falling animation. So to prevent this, what you can do is, like I said back here, you'll throw the box at the zombie, come forward, grab the box, and then walk forward. You start to fall, hold back like that. That way you don't drop the box. The second you start falling, you can save load, and that'll let you enter running man. which lets you run at full speed. This isn't a tech that I covered, but essentially when you normally walk, like if I went like this, you can see my speed's 100, now my speed's 180 when I sprint. But if I reload the Running Man save, it's 180 when I walk and 270 when I sprint. So that's what Running Man does. Very simple. But right here is going to be our first prop clip. You're going to bring the box that we brought with us over here. Look straight down and then up above where the texture changes right here. Jump and then tab. That'll put you through the gate. And then you're going to come over here. There's a lot of options here, but you're going to grab this and immediately save load. This will let you create a backup in case this box breaks. Now I'm recording the tutorial right now.
Oh crap, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're not interrupting. You're my favorite person in the whole wide world. Do you want to say anything to the tutorial?
Go get him, Tiger.
Wow. If that doesn't inspire the troops, I don't know what will. All right, I appreciate you, babe. I'll see you when you get home. Probably cut that out. All right, anyway, sorry about that. I got distracted. You're going to take this box. You're going to come over here. You're going to do the exact same setup where you look down and look right above the thing. You're going to jump, tab. Now, this could break. It didn't break, but imagine it broke and I didn't clip. You just reload. You come over here and you do it again. You're gonna clip through here. You're immediately going to turn. You're gonna do a B-hop chain. You can press tab before if you jump on this chain, you can't open your tab menu. So if you press tab before getting on the chain, you can. So right here, you could do your menuing. If you had dark vision, you could throw away dark vision if you didn't want dark vision. You could do your combat skill level up here and then come this way. Either way, you're going to interact with this door to put the spider key in it. It'll take a while for it to open, so you could just do all your menuing here, throw out dark vision. You're going to want to buy melee combat 1. It's this skill in the top left box right here. There's actually 3 different tabs you could see of skills. We're going to approach those as we get to them, but the one that'll be automatically open right here, melee combat 1. Click that one. You're going to sit in the corner of this door as it opens, and when the crack's big enough for you to throw the sword through, you could throw the sword out of your inventory like this. Now, I'm going to turn on triggers that'll let you see the trigger that I'm about to talk about. This trigger will remove anything that you got from the tutorial from your inventory, so you don't have anything upon loading the next chapter. We can get around this by throwing it out of our inventory like this, running into the trigger, and then picking it up. So it checks our inventory, it sees nothing, and then we pick up the sword and we get it to come with us into the next chapter. So I'm going to turn off the trigger now. You can see I can enter the room and nothing happens. It's not until you touch this trigger that the level change starts to occur. So I'm going to just save here in case I mess this up. I'm going to walk through and then pick up the sword. Just like that. Now, if you don't start immediately spamming, you won't enter the next level with the weapon out. So I'm going to reload that really quick, show you what that should sound like. So for example, it's going to be in the 1 slot, right? So I'm going to walk through and spam 1. I pick it up and then immediately press 1 and then I just start to click. This just ensures that when we start the next map, we have the sword out. We don't have to take some time to pull it out. And that's pretty much it for the tutorial level. You have to watch this cutscene of the crystal, and then it'll load you into chapter 1, Stonehelm. And we're going to immediately start with horse skip, which skips huge cutscene where you're riding on the back of a horse. But essentially, you're going to press your pause bind, and then you're going to save load and then press your pause bind again, the timing of which will be explained to you now. So when this bar hits the end right here, we're going to pause. When the mouse disappears, we're going to save load. Then in the very middle of this save load, I'm going to reload it so I can point it out to you. Right here where this dark line is in the middle, when it gets here, you do a second pause. So I press my pause bind again, and then that should make sure that we're out of here. So just to reiterate, usually a lot of the timing is based upon when this bar reaches the end here. You see how the bar doesn't actually go all the way to the end. It stops about a little chunk before. That's when the level starts to load, right here, right when it stops. So right when it gets here on that last chapter screen, you're going to press your pause bind. And then when the mouse disappears, that's another way to time things. So you can see the mouse. Now you can't see the mouse. We're going to pause, save load, and then pause. And that save load is essentially timed for when the mouse disappears. So once you enter this split, you're going to be right here. You're going to weapon boost over here. Do your best to B-hop and keep straight line to this rock. This edge, it will push you and kill you. But essentially, you're just going to line up with this rock, this polygon specifically of the rock. If you're over here, that's fine. If you're over here, it can work. You just make sure you're staring about the middle so you have a lot of surface to hit. You're going to back up a little and you're going to pause, right? And then you're going to look at your timer. And essentially, you're going to count up to 6.5, I believe. Let me check. 6.5 if you're feather falling, and 8 seconds if you're just holding space. So check this out. 1. Okay, now I got the timer up. So when it says 6.5, I'm going to release and do some spam spacing. Then you can make it with ease like that. All right, so I'm going to reload and do it again. Not feather fall. I recommend feather falling. If you have hand problems, then this is why I'm also showing you times for no feather fall. So here, you're going to want to wait 8 seconds, and you're just going to hold space instead of mashing it. So we're going to wait until we see around 8. Now we're going to just release and hold space. And boom, boom shakalaka, there you go. So that's what that should look like. It won't always be as clean as like waiting for it to say 8 exactly. Like you'll have to look over now, for example. Okay, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to count like that, you know what I mean? And sometimes it can be in the middle of the second. So, you know, do your best, do your best. Anyway, you're going to come into this window, come over here. I like to unequip my sword at this point for the next prop clip we're about to do. You can wall strafe here. You want to stand in this left corner, lean to the left, and the third bar right here, you're going to press interact like that. And then you're going to come through here. You can grab one of these books or 2 of these if you end up needing more than one item to climb on or to item freeze. Go ahead and take both, but it'll depend on you and your route. So either way, we're going to come over here. There's a node we need to block, so make sure you grab the one on the left. Just drop it immediately. Should be as simple as grab, turn, drop. Grab the other one, make your way on over here. For this one, you don't need to look up. You just look straight down. Stand anywhere between the door and the barrel, like even this far up should be fine. And then jump. And I do a little tab, the second where you'd think it would teleport you. So you like jump, release, tab. If it's not working, you can interact with this gate. Now this gate I wanted to say won't kill you if it smashes your head. The gate later in the game will. But this one, you don't have to open all the way. You can just do this and go on through. If you wait too long in that split, you're going to have a cutscene start playing. So make sure that you do this level fast enough. If you have the cutscene start where the black bars happen and your inventory goes away, and you go into the next level anyway, you will not be able to access your inventory anymore. So definitely be careful about that. We're going to be in the next level. This level, we're going to walk forward and grab our bow, and then back up and kind of line up with this window. I pressed jump because I usually get a jump bug here. Pretty common. You're going to line up, you're going to run forward, jump, and then off to the left, you're going to jump on an invisible wall. So what that looks like is, I'll turn on, okay, so it's the red one. You can kind of see it through the wall here. That red outline is the invisible wall. So it's going to look something like this. I should say something quickly about how you climb walls. If I'm looking to the left, then left is the only way to climb the wall. If I'm looking or if the wall is to my left, I can only climb it with left. Similarly with right, like, could do this here. If I'm pressing forward and climb, I'm not going to climb this ledge. But if I'm pressing backwards and climb, I'm going to climb this ledge. Anyway, you could also jump in the window, create a save here. This lip will kind of mess you up. It'll stop you. And then jump forward, hold A, turn to the left, and then hold W, or you can hold both directions. It's really easy to walk off of this ledge, so I recommend tapping S as soon as you get up there. So there's 2 things you could do. You can either A, back up a little bit until you see, like focus on something, and if you back up and see it snap back into place, you know that you're on the edge. Since I'm on the edge, I can pause, and this is a 3-second pause launch, where after 3 seconds, you can release. Or maybe even less, honestly, get the feel for it. And you can B-hop over here to this gate. If you don't want to book clip through it, you have to come over here and grab this hay bale. So instead of pause launching like this to the end gate, there is another route you could take where instead of pause launching, you'll jump up on the wall, look to the left, you're going to sprint forward, and then you're going to hold A. And what we're aiming for, we're going to turn, and we're going to hit this little bump right here. This will kill our speed and let us survive the fall. And you can even keep speed from it and do a B-hop, like kind of like this maybe? Yeah, there we go. Like this. You're going to come over here this way. Right here, we're going to grab the bale. Tab, throw it, and I'm going to follow it with B-hop. And then this way, you don't have to book clip through the gate. If you can book clip through the gate, then stand in this corner, go over to the left, item freeze, back up, and then you're going to start trying the book clip. You're going to clip through. And then what you would do is you would stand on this, in front of this pillar, crouch, look down, item freeze. If you brought 2 things, you won't have to worry about regrabbing it. But if you only brought 1 thing, you'll have to look straight down. You're going to jump and then grab. That way you enter the next level with the food ration that we're standing on top of. Because there is I guess I should say, a trigger here. Not any of these triggers that I'm standing in, but specifically this one. This trigger ends the level. So stand on this. You jump up into this trigger while grabbing the food. Why does it not work? All right, anyway. I don't know why that wasn't working, but it doesn't matter because it's true. So here, if you want to not book clip through the gate, you want to prop clip through the gate, you get the bail, you come into this very right corner, you look at this intersection, but not this one, but this one right here, where the bars intersect. Then you're going to jump, and when your cursor is at the next intersection, you're going to release and tab. That easy. You grab this, you right click, it'll knock over. Should. You jump on top of it. Boom. And once you're on top of it, turn this on again. You jump into that trigger that should end the level. It ended the level that time. I'm not sure what I did, but anyway, you'll be in the next level now. Okay, I thought of one tiny little extra detail to make mention of, so I'm going to insert it right here. What the hell? Anyway, you can kind of like do a prop clip where you stand over here, jump and throw this thing, and it just like teleports you straight up into the thing. But it's super inconsistent, so I didn't really want to make mention of it. And now that it's not working while I'm talking about it, there we go. I don't really want to make mention of it. But essentially, that is possible. I don't really recommend it. Anyway, we're going to load into this next level right here with a cutscene. This guy's called Whiny Crybaby in the files. Fun fact. Mostly because he's about to whine and cry like a baby. So he's going to go over there and cower. We're going to grab these daggers on the porch. What the fuck did I call this a porch for? On the dresser. Bro, can you fuck off? Yeah, decapitated. Oh my god, he's covered in blood. Yeah, this is why they called him Whiny Crybaby, by the way. All right, anyway. So you spawn in, and then you could press kick to get this guy out of your way, or you could interact with these doors, open them up really quickly. I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So here I'm going to look to the left and open if you aim at the right one, you should be able to easily open both. And then you grab this stuff and you're just going to be walking out the window essentially as fast as possible. Boom, boom. Grab these and then run out. That's what I like to do. You could also just spam kick as it opens and you'll kill this guy. But there's no reason to kill him, so don't do that. Anyway, you drop out here, you come over here. There's a prop clip to get through this, or there is a super lean. So I'm going to show you the prop clip. I grab this barrel, put my back to the door, and then you're just going to look all the way down, run forward, jump, release, tab. It's important to run forward while you're doing that one, and it should work. Otherwise, oh gosh. We can item freeze by standing in the corner here, pausing, dropping a potion. We're going to lean to the left, interact with this lever through the wall, back up, grab the potion, and then we're going to continue on with our way. So I'll make note, even though I don't feel like you should mess with this a lot, and trust me, the advanced route for this level is way cooler. You essentially helicopter up through this roof and just jump to the end. But anyway, you can double dagger boost into this barrel to get up to climb this section. But this is also just something we call a geometry climb, which some textures in here, you can see I can't climb this wall, but for whatever reason, I can climb this wall. Hold forward, jump like this. I had to hold to the side there to climb up here. Careful here, if you're in the corner here and you jump up, you can get stuck kind of like this. You just hold left for a while to get out. So you come over to the left, you jump up on this section. And then here, it's another one of these invisible walls. It's this purple box, right? My bad, it's the in-between of these two purple boxes. But either way, you can jump up and stand. Oopsies. You could stand up here, and then you could jump up and stand up here, and then you could jump up and stand up here. And this is the end of the level. So how we carefully get down here, there's two ways. One is to walk in the middle of these trees, and then just kind of use them as steps to come down. If you miss the tree like that, the second one might be okay. The first one, you'll die for sure. So I'm gonna reload that again. The other way to get down this tunnel is a momentum stall, which is if you hold forward and left click, you'll prime a forward heavy attack like this. And forward heavy attacks have a side effect of stopping your momentum from falling. So like boop, boop, like that. All right, so either way you get down here, you want to come down here. And we'll be in the next level. So usually you're jump bugged. So that's just something to note right away. You're going to come through here. You can create a save right here because as we enter this, it'll spawn this goblin ghoul who has the crystal. He's going to run through here and you can follow him through here. He's going to drop all this crap in your way. You can't do that. So you're going to come through here and you're going to continue on this way. And instead of following him, what you're going to want to do is just single boost over here. You can also obviously double dagger boost like this. So, you know, I will say real quick, it is a little easier to do this from over here, especially the double dagger boost, because you can go like this, and then you're all the way over here. You can come over here, and I'll say really quickly, the end of the level is right there. That's the end of the level. But right here, if I just fly into this wall, you can see there's an invisible wall preventing me from going over this building. We can go to this invisible wall. If we could clear this invisible wall right here, we could go straight to the end. And the way you do that is to stand over here and do a double dagger boost and just hold space and like aim straight at this, double dagger boost, hold space, and then hold D and kind of turn your mouse to the right and hold W to climb. That's what it should look like. So we're going to show you a different way. If you are having trouble here, you could also try just feather falling. That should make the whole thing easier, though I think holding space is plenty easy enough. You could also do it like this, stand up here, and then climb up here as well. Two ways to get to the end from here is one, you could just single boost over, or you could do a pause launch. Doesn't take a lot of time either. If you're having trouble with this, I will say you cannot grab that side of this. You have to grab this side, and then you come over here. You can climb this corner. You can single boost over here. You can try to double dagger boost all the way to the end. Or if that's not working, you can stop right here. Careful, because you can surf straight off. Yeah, you should be able to climb right here. So yeah, you just want to make your way to this area. Somehow, some way. Either you're going to make it over top of that invisible wall with a double dagger boost, or you're going to make your way to the end of the level, else how. I believe in you. Either way, you're going to come in here, and we're going to be in the warehouse split. So in the warehouse split, you start in this like alcove area. The second we exit here, it'll start a script where this goblin ghoul with the crystal will run up and crawl into a hole, and he'll disappear. Well, you normally can't see that. Sorry for spoiling that. Oh my god, I merged and broke. Anyway, you come out here, and you're going to look to the left. You're going to single boost on over. I messed it up, so I'm just going to no clip over. And you're going to single boost on over again, hold to the right, and climb. Kind of like that. Right? And then this way you're up here. You can do all this with a single double dagger boost. It would look something like this, right? Except you would actually succeed. It's a little tricky. I mean, holding forward and sprint seems to help a lot. So like hold forward, sprint, do your double dagger boost. And then right when you're about to leave the second one, also hold forward and sprint, I suppose. Either way, you could just single boost, save, single boost, save. You know, that way you save along as you go. You know, there's no penalty for saving. In here, you can hold forward, run off to not take fall damage. Alternatively, you could also hold forward, run to the left, and land up here to not take fall damage. Charge a heavy attack for a weapon boost, boost into this, and it'll just take you right here. Either way, you're going to drop down. Boom. All right, real quick, I wanted to talk about an additional route into the warehouse. If you're having trouble with this single jump into the window, you can boost over here. Careful, take care not to land on this barrel. You're going to need it for a prop clip here. You can just go straight into it from here, but the consistent way is to line up with this, look straight down, then look a little bit up, similar to the prologue prop clips. Jump, tab, tab, and you should also be able to get into the warehouse like that if you prefer that method. As I mentioned, there's also, you could just walk off 180 and then throw it down. I was a little high in the air right there, but you'll see what I mean here. Maybe I could even just boom, you know, precise. So play around with it, have fun with it, figure a way that you like best, but you're going to make your way down here. And we're going to continue into the basement. We're going to grab this mana potion. There are guards down here we're going to avoid interacting with. So we're going to walk up to these barrels and hopefully kick to get them out of the way and to break this thing. All of that can happen at the same time. If it doesn't, you can either swipe or kick again. You're going to AD spam while we crawl through here, boost on over through here, and then we're going to pick up our ring. Oh! Boom, boom, boom. Jump up here. I like to land on this barrel, walk off like this so I don't take any fall damage. You pull the attention of these two guards right here. They will be a little annoying for this next part. For the time being, I'm going to just disable their AI. Sorry about the timer. That way, we're not dealing with them. But either way, you're going to drop down the barrel, drop down, and then you're going to boost this way, where we're going to come to our barrels. There's currently some gates that are blocking the way. That is the end of the level right there. I wonder if I can see the trigger. There's the trigger for it. The way to get through is to take this barrel. There's a couple ways. You can take this barrel, walk up, back up to it. Should be a square on the ground here. Look at the middle of the square, jump, tab, tab, and you should be through. That's one way to prop clip through. Another way, over here, you're be on the left side of this crevice crack here, and then just go to the right, jump, and tab, tab like this. and that should put you through as well. And then you're going to end the level. So if you're struggling with either of these prop clips, I will say that I do not recommend doing this, as it is much slower than the prop clips, and I believe in your abilities to do the prop clips. However, if you don't want to do the prop clips, the normal way to raise this gate, I'm going to turn AI back on, is to come up here. It'll start a cutscene, which is a partial problem, or part of the problem as to why you want to skip this, because this cutscene is, slow. And it's also dangerous. You can, die here pretty easily. The guards from before, if they were close to you, they can continue to pursue you and beat your ass while this cutscene's happening. The way to grab this crystal without pissing everyone off is to buy telekinesis. Normally we would do that next split, but we could do that now if you're going to skip the prompt clip. So you use telekinesis to grab the crystal from afar. As soon as you can grab it, you just turn around and F off. You might have the guards from before mess with you here. Actually, that's so cute. Oh, I thought one was on the other side. I thought they were like eternally separated. Either way, this will open the gates. We can come through here and to try to take some speed into this next level. You could try to time a B-hop like this. Either way, you're going to wait for her to say Sereth, and then you're going to start spamming kick. If you see the ground like this, you know you messed it up. This is what we're trying to avoid. We can't move during this whole cutscene where they're talking to one another. All right, one more time. Sereth, kick. All right, so Sereth, and then as soon as she's done saying Sereth, start spamming kick. Kick. All right, so if you see this, just lean to the left or lean to the right to get rid of that visual bug. But yeah, if you're out of the cutscene, then you know it worked. So you can book clip to get through here. You don't want to be down on the first step. You want to be like right here. If you're going to book clip, set up the book clip and then book clip through. If you can't book clip, what you're going to do is prop clip instead. Or alternatively, you can wait a long ass time for her to be done with talking, and then she will just open these naturally. Either way, if you line up with this line on the wall here, you lean to the right and then look at the T intersection where that line crosses. So we're going to aim at that T, lean to the right, then aim at that T again. We can pick up the box through the wall. We're going to prime it by holding left click, and there should be a dark point right here. This point right here. You're going to center it, jump back. You're going to hold back to the right, jump, and then release, and you're going to tab. So it should look like this. It should look like this. That's what it should look like. That's how you prop clip through. Alternatively, she will just open it after a while. But yeah, you can book clip or prop clip through. Yeah, once you're at this section, you're going to create a save. There are ballistas out here that are very, very strong. You see they open the side of the boat, and these will 2-tap you, 1-tap you. They'll mess up your B-hop. If you're B-hopping here, they can hit you and just completely stop you. If you try to climb on them, they'll eventually close like this. There are some strats using standing on them, so I'm making a note of that right now. So what I would do is recommend learning a double dagger boost. It's the easiest way to get up on the ship. You just single boost over here, and then double dagger boost, kind of ramp off the side of the boat. You'll come up here. There's only one guard up here right now. You can see nobody else is up here except for this bozo. Where'd they go? This bozo. When you board the boat, you'll be doing things over here, and this guy will probably run over to you like this and try to fuck with you. So just note, the quicker you set up things over here, the less of a chance you'll have to deal with this goober. Alternatively, I would say you could go like this, single boost, and then just kind of straight line. We're going to single boost out here. They're going to open the things, but we're going to get on top of one before they can. And you'll see that these don't close for a while. So what you could do is double dagger boost here and then hold to the left. And then that should let you climb up from here. If you don't like those, you could also stand on this and then double dagger boost. I think it's going to kill me though, so I'm going to have to show you again. Would look like this. Oh gosh. It would look like that. I think I've showed enough ways to get up to the boat. Either way, you want to get onto the boat, fellers. This is probably the easiest way to do it. Double dagger boost over there is definitely the best way to do it for beginners. That's probably the easiest. Either way, you're going to grab this box. You're not going to fucking immediately throw it. Oh my god. Fly to the boat. Move. Such a good move. Grab the box. Come over here. Drop it in this wall. Right? Make sure not to drop it outside the boat, but into this room. Like that. Then we're going to climb up here. Grab this box. This guy will be chasing us. You're going to head toward... Make a save before you prime. Walk forward in between these two things. Crouch. Look down at like a 45. And then throw the box at your feet and tab. And that should clip you into the room below you. Doesn't work, you could just reload, try again. But yeah, this is the result you're looking for. You'll interact with this axle and then a cutscene will play. Alternatively, if you wanted to do a book clip here, what you could do is drop this into this beam here, turn around, set up a book clip, back up. Make sure you want to set up the book clip kind of centered with the door like this. And the reason that we drop the box into this beam is so it bounces over here out of the way. So nothing's in our way. Book clips are not easy, so they can't path to you when you're on a book, which is why he's running away. But either way, that's what it'll look like. You interact with this, bring the box over here. Either way you do this, you want a box in this corner, okay? So you're going to make your way into this room either through prop clipping through the ceiling or book clipping in. You'll interact with that cogwheel, that axle, or whatever you want to call it, that capstan, all the same. It will start the cutscene no matter what and wait for you to touch the capstan afterwards, but it'll immediately start at the end of the level cutscene if you touch the capstan before. So when you hear ready to sail, you're going to gain movement really quick, so I like to save after hearing ready to sail. I like to buy stamina right here and telekinesis. So telekinesis is in the middle tab right here. It says hand. You just double click that. And then the cogwheels section is the third tab. Stamina is this boot option. So you're just going to double click stamina, come up here, double click telekinesis, buy those two things. You can then organize your inventory however you like. I usually like to do something like this. Yeah, I do something like that. Make sure that you're pressed up into this box. So let me reload that save that I made. You're going to buy telekinesis, you're going to buy stamina, and then you're going to press yourself up against this box in the wall. So this, stamina, telekinesis, do your inventory management. Make sure you're pressed up against this box. And then that's it. That's all you got to do. That's ship. That's the end of part 1. And we're going to be getting started with part 2. Part 2 starts with a long boat cutscene where you're rowing onto land. You can skip it by doing exactly what we just set up to do. So right here, when we load into the next map, we're going to hold forward in space. We're going to time it when the bar hits the end and stops moving. So right here, now we're going to hold forward in space. And then that way we're going to start in by climbing that box. It'll put us outside of this boat cutscene. There's the box we climbed. Here's the boat cutscene. And you're going to want to come over here to this rock. And when you load in, you're going to be in a complete pitch black. So you can look at the top right. You want to look for angle 120. Right there, it's that middle number in between 5 and 0. It's 125 right now. You want to look around 120 and swim towards 120 if you want to swim towards this rock. So either way, you're going to make it up to this rock, save. What I like to do is double dagger boost over here to this pole. There's a lot of ways to pause launch here to the end of the level, but essentially we're going to do a huge pause launch where we send ourselves flying all the way to the end of the level. Now, depending on whether you're going to do the book clip ending or the prop clip ending, you're going to have a different destination. So if you're going to book clip, you're going to go straight for the ending. If you're going to prop clip, you're going to come over here and kind of land up on this thing. This way, if you're over here, no orcs will spawn in this room. But if you come around this way, all the orcs will spawn, and it'll make doing the prop clip thing really difficult because you'll have to grab this prop, come to the wall, and then this guy's going to be swinging his sword at you while you're doing this. Like, it can still work like that, but either way. So what we're going to do, back to the prop clip explanation, or back to the pause launch explanation. We're going to line up. It's hard to see, but on the top of this building, there's like a spider like statue. I don't even know what you would call it. A marquee, a spider marquee. And we're going to line up the middle of this pole with the middle of that spider symbol. So it should look about like that, right? So the amount of time that you want to pause launch for is 11 seconds. It might be a little less if you're feather falling. It might be, 12 seconds or so. You just want to, it's around that long of a pause launch. I will say you can make it a little shorter, like around an 8-second pause launch if you do a few tricks. So I'll try to briefly explain this, but we'll say that you get up on here and then you'll have to time pause. So if you get up on here and then you hold back, this will probably work, but I will say, yeah, it works just fine. But I will say that you're probably going to want to get good at timing your pause for when you're on the ledge. So it should look like that. And you're going to want to listen for the and then the snap noise that follows that. Like if you pause and the last thing you heard was it's like a huge snap. Like that means that you did it right. Like you're going to see that you paused long. You timed your pause at the right time. Either way, line up the middle of the pole with the middle of the symbol. You're going to pause. Hold on. Let me do the timer thing so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna save load at 8 seconds. I just want to show you the quicker way to do this. You could just wait till 11 seconds, unpause, and it'll be fine. But we're gonna save load around now, and then you know how the bar gets to the end and it freezes right here. If you press pause, right then you'll enter the save, paused again. So let's say that you save loaded after you thought you paused long enough, and you hold left and you start spamming and it's not working. Like you can see right now, it's not working. What you could do is press pause right here to add a few more seconds to that. And now when I unpause, it is working, right? But I went way too far, so I paused for too long. So I'm going to pause and then unpause pretty quickly. And I'm going to try to land up here. So if you enter the falling animation, you can press your ring bind, and the ring bind should I'm also going to see if I just press I will say that if you press nothing out of the pause launch, you can see that this is what happens. If I start feather falling and mash to the left, this is what happens. So just mess around with it here. Either way, I'm going to show you the prop clip ending first, because I assume you guys aren't going to want to do the book clip ending. Even though it's faster, book clips are a lot harder. And I'm going to try to route out all that stuff where I can and explain you guys alternatives, just in case you want to get started, but you really don't want to mess with the mantle warps yet. Either way, you're going to grab this barrel, and you're going to come up here, and you're going to hold to the right, crouch. If you prime it while already crouched, you'll just drop it. So make sure that you prime before you crouch. You're going to hold to the right. You kind of see that you slide up like that. You slide up on this wood beam. When you see you're all the way at the top of it like that, and you're looking straight down at where the wall and the ground meets, and you're holding to the right still, you can release left click and then tab, and it should put you through the wall. There we go. Hold to the right. Look right here. Why is it? Oh my god! And that's what you might sound like. Why is this dude? Door. All right, I'm leaving that in. Dark Messiah just be like that sometimes, but essentially that's the outcome you want. You want to pop out through here. I'm gonna do it again just because now I'm pissed off. Should look like that. I guess maybe I was looking too high. Maybe I was looking too high up on the wall. I said to look like put your middle of your cursor where the wall and like this. But that didn't work, so maybe it was a little bit lower. Okay, I have no idea what's going to make it in from all of that. That was annoying. But yeah, that is how you do it, and that is what it should look like. Either way, you're going to come over here. Don't worry, I know this is an inbounds run. This is not out of bounds. You can see at the top right, when I pause, the velocity says 29. Now it says 110. And that's because it's keeping the velocity through the pauses, right? If you were out of bounds, you'd see like this is out of bounds. See how I'm falling out of bounds? If I pause, it goes to 0 instead of maintaining it. That's how what out of bounds operates like. So this is in bounds. There's just no textures here. That's the difference. So walk forward. You should drop down around here somewhere. Boom. And then you're going to crouch through this area. AD spam. Ready a dagger. You're going to boost over here. Climb in, back up into bounds. And then this is how you will end the level. Like that. So if you're wanting to do the book clip for beach, you land in this back left in order to avoid taking fall damage. Alternatively, if you don't have as much speed as I did, you can hit this as well. So you could be coming in and you could just land anywhere on this hill. Pretty safe. Uh-oh. Anyway, hold W into this. Hold to the left. And this will put you at the perfect distance for a book clip. Like that. And then make sure you're not super off-centered. Oh my god, that's so scary. Make sure you're not off-centered. Make sure you're in the center. Woo! and then you just book clip through. If you get stuck in this door, you could try holding S and sometimes it'll pop you out. Otherwise, you could also try doing a couple extra save loads and that will also pop you out sometimes. Either way, that should be how you do beach. That's the beach level. Now we're on to warehouse. Let's do that again. Now we're on to temple, name of this level. You know, you just double dagger boost, whatever. You get through here. You could bounce off of this. I'll talk about that in the advanced route. Anyway, come up here, do a single boost, get up here. The goal is to get up here. Alternatively, you could also get these mana potions over here if you feel like that. You could do a double dagger boost into these guys' feet to get up here, or you could grab the mana potions, come over here, and jump up here like this. There is a way to just do like this. It is not easy though, but it's like that. Essentially what I'm doing is jumping in the very far left corner. Has to be in the far left corner. Jump, and then like the second that you can, you enter like the top of the jump window, you jump again, and gives you like your max height. There we go. Once you're up here, no matter how you get up here, you'll bring out telekinesis. You're gonna aim above this body, like around here, grab and save load, and then you're going to look down and press any of your weapons twice. So I'm gonna do the bow just because whatever, it doesn't matter which one you press, it could be anything, but you just press a weapon twice, just double tap it, and it should freeze that body in place. If I just pressed it once, this is what happens. Nothing. If I pressed nothing, this is what happens. The body disconnects from your telekinesis anyway, so you're gonna want to do this kind of quick. You're gonna save load, look down, double tap anything. We're gonna mantle warp now. I know that this is the beginner section, but there are 2 mantle warps, maybe even 3 that I suggest you learn. Now that we have the ring, we picked up the ring earlier. These mantle warps are much, much easier, and they become less of an advanced trick and more of a beginner trick in terms of reproducibility and consistency. I heavily advise that you go to the mantle warp section of the fundamentals at the beginning if you haven't already watched that section. And towards the end, there's a bit about the ring, and I just want you to watch that section for the thorough explanation of how the timing of this trick works. But either way, what you'll do is you want to walk off the ledge, swing back over to the ledge. That can be hard in and of itself. Just walking off this ledge, walking off ledges in Dark Messiah can be tricky. So W, and then you hold A, turn, and then W again. So W, A, W, like that, right? So walk off, hold A, turn, and you can do like this. And then here you just do the inputs. You'll teleport to the end like this, which is essentially through this orc room right here. It is possible to do. I do not do this. I heavily recommend you just learn the mantle warp. Technically, you can go through here. You don't have to beat these guys' asses. I spawned Aaron here accidentally. He will not be here. These orcs will be here, and they will beating your ass, not his ass. Don't think too much about this. Sorry. Either way, you're gonna bring 2 of these barrels through here while they're trying to beat your ass. They will not be distracted like this. You're gonna block a pathing node, and then you'll use the other one to prop clip through. All right. So like I think it works like this. No. Either way, there is a way to prop clip through here. I'm not going to figure it out right now because I really heavily advise you against doing it. Either way, you should probably mantle warp here, and then there is another trigger to end the level right here. 2 ways to approach it. You could either approach it from the top like this. You could jump straight into it, and then you can feather fall to not die from fall damage. Or alternatively, you could kind of like go like this, slide down, walk down until you hit the trigger, and then you can just keep going. Sword boost over here. You could use telekinesis to grab this pot, save load, and create a little ramp if you know how to double dagger boost. If you're confident with double dagger boosting, you can double dagger boost, and then, oh my god. So to explain what just happened, let's skip that for now. Just know that that's there. This is another geometry climb. You can walk up to this pole and just kind of climb straight up it. Once you get to the top, you'll ledge grab and you'll climb it all the way. This gate has a hole in it that I can't really show you visually. There's no way to turn on the hitbox for it, but you can see it's a solid gate. Like, there is no way to get through this gate normally, even if I got like a lot of height. Like, normally you can't go through the gate, but there is a tiny hole right around here, just big enough. You see I'm hitting my head when I jump, and when I go side to side, it's not the whole gate. There's just a tiny hole in the middle of this gate. So you could double dagger boost from back here, and kind of aim for, I would say, like this area to ledge grab. Like that. It's really easy to walk off once you're in here, so be careful of that because it's a long drop. Or alternatively, if you're not going to double dagger boost, you're on top of this geometry climb. Once you're up here, ready a double dagger boost or a sword boost or whatever. A single boost is enough for this. You're going to look about here. You're going to hold forward and shift, and that should land you in the hole just fine. From here, you can save, or you can immediately let go of that sword boost. You want to come over here to this, like, I don't know, upper area, whatever you want to call it. And ideally, you do another mantle warp here. I cannot tell you how much time this mantle warp saves. Casually, this section takes around like 20 minutes, maybe more. It involves going to all these different directions and getting 4 gems, putting them boom, 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 boom in the statue. And then the statue will do a whole animation where it opens the doors one by one. Alternatively, other than the mantle orb, there is a way to do this section. There are hidden gems in the wall here. Here they are. There's 2 of them, of the 4 you need. But there's a trick to put 2 gems in the same hole. So you could technically, if you're really bad at the mantle orb, technically, you could come over here. You could grab these 2 gems. You could come over here. You have to like bind. I bind mouse wheel up to plus use. You can see mouse wheel up right now. So I could mouse wheel up to plus use. And then how you put 2 in the same hole is you look right around here. Right around here, right when you like just it like you move your mouse down and it shows up. I move it up, it's gone. Right there. Create a save here. You're gonna mouse wheel up and drag your mouse upwards. It'll play a cutscene. If you only hear what's this chick's name? If you only hear Zana talking one time, like you only hear one dialogue, you didn't do it right. You'll hear 2 dialogues at the same time if you do this right. That wasn't right. There we go. And then when you mouse wheel up and look down as soon as you can. And that's how you do this without mantle warping. You do that until you get 2 audio dialogues. When you come out of that cutscene, you like scroll your mouse down, mouse wheel up to use, and you'll put your gems in this hole. And then boom, it'll teleport you back. You were in a cutscene that whole time. I hate to break it to you. And then it'll fire lasers at this door and slowly open the door. Now, alternatively, you could just flip and do the mantle warp like I suggested from the very beginning, and it wouldn't be that hard. Okay, so please learn this instead, bro. What I like to do is to grab the pot like this, save, walk off, and then just immediately do the trick. Which, you know, you just walk off with W, hold A, look straight like that, and then you just do the inputs. So space, ring, and then grab like that. That's how I recommend you do the trick. If doing it moving is too difficult for you, you could just grab the pot. Like I said, you could right click, put it down safely, save, walk off, and just repeatedly try the trick until you get it like that. So once you're here, there's 3 dev buttons that they left in this pillar over here. I know, very funny. This one, I forget what they all do. This one of them starts the boss. One of them, let's see. That starts the boss. I don't really know what that one does. The middle one ends the level. Either way, you're just going to line up with this line right here, lean to the left, and then just kind of start spamming until you start to see the white fade out. That's how you know you hit the middle button, which ends the level. So once you see the white fade out, open your tab screen and pause as soon as you see the white. What you want to do is drag your bow out of your inventory and your daggers out of your inventory around the middle of the screen. So you drag them out and up like this. Unpause. So here, similarly to the previous timings, we're going to do something to get out of a cutscene at the beginning of this next map. This is what it would look like normally. Spawn in. You're on the ground. You'll see this if you mess up. Okay? So what you're aiming for is as soon as your mouse disappears, you see the mouse disappear, hold space. As soon as you see the mouse disappear, hold space. And you'll be like this, T-posed. You grab the bow, you immediately hold left click or it won't let you draw it. And then you'll save load as soon as you start to see your screen do that freaky shit. So one more time. As soon as the mouse disappears, hold space. Grab the bow. This is what it looks like if you don't hold space soon enough. You can grab the daggers and then re-grab the bow again and try again. When your screen freaks out, save load. You'll be free from the cutscene. Boom. You can grab the daggers at this point. It's okay to leave the bow behind. You can double dagger boost here to get up, or you could just walk up like this. I'll explain more about the double dagger boost in the advanced section, but either way, you're just going to b-hop your way through here using boosts and all that stuff. You can boost into in between the rock and that pillar like that to get up here. Alternatively, you could climb the bridge. Motherfuck. Alternatively, you can climb the bridge like this. Boom. Oh my gosh. And then walk up here. Come up here to this section. Now, you can't just... You want to get into this room, but you can't just open this gate from this side. Before to let you interact with it, you have to go all the way over here. Break this. Step just a foot inside, then back out. And then it will let you lean in and interact with this bar to disengage it. Just by leaning in and spamming interact. Try again. Maybe we lean to the left. All right, there we go. Leaning to the left seems to do better. And then you unlock and you can come straight in. Now the faster method is to come in here and then this wall right here, right where this slash is pretty much, you could just single boost, turn to the right and climb this bridge. Double dagger boost is always going to be better. And then come through here. Alternatively, I mean, like, you know, you also could just continue up through here. Ignore the spiders. And then you're up here all the same. Either way, you're going to make your way into this room, whether it's through this gate or whether it's through the top of the room. You're going to immediately open this chest, open this backpack. You'll have to re-pick up your daggers, and you'll make your way on through the next, through the rest of the level. So here, you can't open this gate, but you can climb over it, kind of like that. Careful if you're going to do a sword boost here, not to hit this curved area because you will take all your speed into the ground and die. Here's what it should look like if you're going to do it fast with dagger boosts and all that. Single boost, b-hop, b-hop. Do another boost here. Do like this. Either way, you're going to make your way out into this room. I'm going to turn off the AI just so I can show you without getting beat up. So there's a patch of hay right here. You can kind of see that as texture. You'll make your way into this room. Sometimes the Cyclops will be right here. It'll be blocking the way. You just go around to the left here. Make your way to the hay patch. If you could do a double dagger boost, this is what you'll do. You go like this, double dagger boost, you come up here, right? If you can't do a double dagger boost, you only do a single boost. You have to feather fall at least. You can come straight up to it, single boost, feather fall, and then you can climb up here like that. There's also a pause launch here, though it kind of sucks butt because you have to like kind of b-hop up to it. And it's about like a 2-3 second pause launch. It's a little annoying to get up there too with it. I'd recommend just doing the single boost one if you really can't do the double dagger boost one. But this is a great room to just take your time to practice double dagger boost, especially if you turn AI off, the command for which is AI_disable in your console. Yeah, so double dagger boost from here, single boost from up close, or pause launch from this pillar. I mean, those are the 3 ways that I know of to get up there easily. Pick one of them, practice one of them. Once you're up here, you could leave from like right around here to get to this, or you could stand all the way at the very top. A little cumbersome to get up here, but you can create a save up here. Single boost, double dagger boost, whatever. You can kind of bounce off of this side of the wall right here if you are going to try to b-hop. Here's another good one. You could double dagger boost into this rock to go straight up like this. But either way, you come through here, and this is the end of the level. Go ahead and drop on down, and we're in goblins. Yay. So here we're going to break this wood. You're going to make your way over here, ideally with some double dagger boost, single boost, however you want to do it. If you're really good at double dagger boosts, the quickest way to beat this level, the end of the level is over there on this ledge. Here's the end of the level. You're going to want to get on top of this awning. It can be tricky. I think you could climb this from the side like this and then sprint jump at it like this. I like to walk up, and it's kind of dangerous, but climb it like this, or you hold it to the right. Either way, you can't really see it, but there's a surf right here. So you just want to do a double dagger boost right into that, feather fall over here. And that's what it should look like. It's pretty easy if you practice it. Let's say you can't do that though. There is a pause launch right here. As you're coming up from this area, there's going to be 2 lines. There's this line, and then there's this line. This is the line that you want to stand on. And then you're going to want to stare at this pole. Back up until you see you're on the edge. And then you're going to do a 6-second pause launch like this. And you're not going to hold space at all. 4, 5, 6 release and not hold space. And then you'll just soar right on over here. How nifty is that? I guess like the absolute worst case scenario, if you're not good at any of this stuff, this is how you get to the end normally. You can come over here, normal. What? Are those daggers? I didn't know there were daggers here. That's cool. Anyway. Come over here. And then this one, I think you can just, there we go, like that. Okay. Annoying, but that's how you do it. Climb up here, and then a single boost up here. All right. And that is how you get up here normally. Come through here, and that'll end the level. I'm going to turn back on the AI so you can see how this normally would work. So you come out through here. You can do this if you want. It doesn't really matter, but you can just land on the water section of the stairs, and you'll be fine. Walk off, land over here. You do a double dagger boost. It'll fuck this guy up, and then you can walk past him. Otherwise, he's going to be in your way a little bit. But a lot of ways to handle this section. If you're confident with double dagger boosts, really confident, you can come up here and you can jump straight to the end of the level. That was the end of the level I just missed. Elsewise, you could also come over here and do a pause launch. If you're not good with boosts, it's like a 4-second pause launch. And then you just come over here. Here's the end of the level again one more time. This is what you were aiming for when you double dagger boost from over there. It's kind of tricky. Requires a lot of feather falling. The easiest way to do this is to just single boost into this wall. This wall right here is a geometry climb. So we're going to single boost here. We're going to hold A and kind of look this way because this wall's at an angle. So if we look this way and hold A, we shouldn't slide off to the left. We should stay in the pocket. So we're going to hit this wall, hold A, look a little to the right, and then start hitting space when we... And then you could do this. You could climb the wall, and then you can climb up here. And that's how you get in here. The easiest way, I'll show one more time. Right around from the top right here, you could aim for that dark patch and do a feather fall double dagger boost up here. You could go straight for the end like this. It is also possible to aim right here, much easier, and then you do a double dagger boost. You can't really single boost around this corner, but if you double dagger boost into the wall like this, your second boost will take you over to the wall right there. You can also, from all the way over there, aim to land up here. From here, you could do a double dagger boost. You could double dagger boost over here like this. You could probably even single boost over here. Yeah, you could single boost like that. Another thing you could do is you could double dagger boost like this over to this area. And there is this section, which you could do a book clip. And then you could book clip through the gate, which would also just put you through here. And then either way, no matter how you end up getting through here, you could grab this mana potion. This is the end of the level. Oop. And that's how you do it. All right, so this level, this is called Vermin. Vermin has the longest pause launch in the game. You're going to come through here into this section. I'm going to disable the AI. And really quickly, the AI that'll bother you in this section. There are a bunch of spiders on the walls here. Normally, this water would fill up and you would slowly raise like a water elevator and have to fight all these enemies. But we're going to pause launch off of this wood platform into this angle. Boom. And it's going to send us straight up all the way, ideally. So this little guy, this vermin, he'll follow you, right? He'll be behind you. So you'll have to deal with that. That'll be annoying. This goblin can throw rocks at you when you're trying to set this up. That'll be annoying. And eventually these spiders will come down here and beat this goblin's ass. And if you're still fiddle fucking around by that point, the spiders will be on your ass. So when you come through here, you're going to quickly jump out and to the right. You can jump straight into the pause launch setup like this. Though for beginners, I don't advise to aim for that. Let's say you miss, right? You're swimming now. When you're swimming here, you can't climb this ledge, but you can stand over here. So you'll swim over here, stand over here, and then you'll use this area to get up to stand here, right? So once you're on this ledge, you can see it's just going to drag me down the ledge like this. You'll aim for this. You'll pause, and this pause launch is 12 seconds long. So ready? 2. And this one you will hold space for. So you'll hold space. And then you'll turn your mouse to the right and hold D. So unpause, hold space, turn your mouse to the right, hold D. And you should make your way up here. Like if you go too high, you can hold forward, like do this, and stall your momentum to not take any fall damage. You know what I mean? I might even be able to. Nope, I just suck. All right, so I'm going to turn the AI back on. I'm going to reload from the start of the level. And this is what it would look like. And come over here. You're probably going to want to aim for over here. Get up here. Make sure you're on the platform. Who cares about him? And time this. 3. I didn't hit the timer, so I'm just going to do my normal timing. And what you could do, like other pause launches, is save load, pause here, and then go for it. You can feather fall. See if you make it. If you don't make it, reload like this. Pause for even longer. Go again. You know what I mean? Now I'm going way higher. Could not pause at all. Looks like with this one. So right there, what I just did is as I'm flying up, I had my daggers. I flew up. I switched to telekinesis, and I aimed at a mushroom that's just sitting right here. It's more of an advanced strat, but you don't have to do that. You could just land up here like normal. Walk over here, pull out telekinesis, and then there's a mushroom right here. You just grab that mushroom. You want to be careful not to have 2 mushrooms, because if you try to item freeze something you have more than 1 of, it just won't work. Like, this is not going to be in. Okay, there we go. I was like, what the hell? It worked, but then it just fell the second I touched it. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. So, like I said, you could telekinesis, grab that as you're flying and then land. Or alternatively, you could just not do any of that. Do like this, come through here. I recommend grabbing at least 1 of these mushrooms. All right, so you grab that one. That one's a little easier to grab. We're almost at the end of part 2. We're like two maps away. We're going to save here. We used to have to line up. It's hard to see, but you'll see it in a second. We used to have to line up with this chain and then double dagger boost from all the way over here. But this chain's what we're going to be aiming for. So we're going to boost over here. I think you have to double dagger boost. I don't think a single boost will get you enough distance. Yeah, you can't spam space hard enough. So you would, if you can only single boost, I think actually there is a closer chain. If you can only single boost, you could go to this chain right here. You could jump through this window, and the end of the level's up these stairs. So you could go like this to get here. If you can double dagger boost, you'll want to go this way. Ring, and then aim for this chain. You'll climb up here, and you'll boost through here, and here's the top of the stairs, the same as that other way. Yeah, and those are your only 2 options, really. It used to be we did like this. You couldn't adjust it. You just had to aim it and send it. By the way, I would recommend double dagger boosting and ringing to this one if you can, but obviously this other one's fine. It's like not a big deal. It's just a little annoying and not super clean to get to the end from this first one. Either way, you're going to make your way over here. You're going to come up through here. If you stand up here and do a double dagger boost, you can just keep all your movement up the stairs. Oh, I guess I should explain. This trigger right here will break the floor behind you, which that orc just totally fell in, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there he is. W orc. Anyway, that one breaks the floor behind you. And this one spawns an Indiana Jones style trap. Now this is fine. This isn't a big deal because you could just run backwards and jump over here. But obviously you don't want to have to. Okay, so I totally thought I was safe there, and apparently I was not. Make your way up here. Careful conserving your stamina at the bottom. You can see I ran out of it for a second there. Running up these stairs, you can run out of stamina, and then you'll find yourself here unable to weapon boost. You'll just have to walk down this, do the walk of shame down this hallway. Yeah, either way. Here, you can do a double dagger boost. Careful if you hit this ceiling with too much speed, you'll just ramp. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that was out of bounds. You'll ramp off the ceiling and then die. So be careful about that. If you can only single boost, you won't have to worry about that. But either way, you can kind of surf off a lot of these walls. And by that, I mean, like, if you hold into them, you can kind of glide along them. Whee, like that. Right? And if you do that with a lot of speed, you can kind of just bounce your way up this tunnel. Either way, you'll make your way into this room. Now, we don't have the rope bow, so the only way to get up here is with weapon boosting. So you're going to have to be familiar with at least single boosts, because I believe you could single boost up here like this. This rock, you can single boost like this and then climb up here. You could also single boost off this rock, I believe. It's a little harder because you have to like wiggle forward. But a double dagger boost is going to be really easy off this rock. It's going to be really easy off this rock. You could also even use this wall over here. Not this wall. You could see kind of where the texture changes. This wall is still a part of like this area. This is the wall. You could even see it looks a little bit, it sticks out more. It has more of an angle to it. You can use this wall to do a double dagger boost. You gotta be kind of close to it. You don't want to be too far away from it, it looks like. Whatever. Ideally, that's what it looks like. You can even do a double dagger boost as soon as you enter the room like this. And it should look like that. Either way, you'll make your way up here. You can boost up here. If you hit this wall the right way, you can boost off it. Something like that, right? You'll make your way up here, and now we're finally out of the caves. There's a few ways to jump down this gigantic height. Easiest is probably to do one of these momentum stall moves. Land on the tree, you could do it, then land here, and then you can momentum stall again. It's slow, but it's consistent. You could also just like feather fall down. You could like go here. I think you might be able to double dagger boost into this wall to survive this drop. The way I like to do it is to keep speed from like a B-hop out of here or something, and then hit this wall. From here, you can see what I mean. It's like super angled, so you can hold into it and kill a lot of your momentum. So what I aim for is just boost, press ring so that you're actionable and you can actually influence your direction. If you don't press ring, holding it into the wall is not going to do anything. So you have to press ring to be able to move at all. There's a couple spots you could land here and just not take fall damage at all for some reason. Right here, I think, is one of them. I fell a little too forward. It was the right angle, but you have to stop sooner. Like that. Because you want to like hit right here. Whatever reason it doesn't kill you. Try it one more time. That should work. I'm an idiot. I don't prefer this method. I'm not an expert at it by any means, but you can mess around with it if you're so entailed. There's another spot by the wall, actually. It's like on the rock. You have to like hit the rock like that or something like that. You can take no damage. There's a lot of ways to get down here. You just want to get down safely. I recommend the wall one because it's the most consistent and you can do it from deep in here. Like you could have a ton of speed like this. And you can kind of tap S to slow down a little bit to aim for the wall. And then, you know, tap ring, hold A into the wall and kind of just surf down the wall. If you look straight down, you'll go straight down. But if you kind of look more into the wall like this, you can see like I'm like completely stopped. So mess around with that. There's a lot of ways to get down here, but you just want to get down right here. As soon as you enter this area, you can see this trigger starts a huge cutscene that is unskippable. There is a way to get out of the cutscene, but there's not a way to end the cutscene earlier. So you'll just be, instead of being stuck in this boat, you could just be walking around, but I'm not going to cover that right now. You can check the advanced section of this map for information on how to escape this cutscene. It doesn't really help you, but you could go into your skills and upgrade some skills while you're here instead of wasting time doing that in the future, but not a real big difference. This is the end of part 2. Each of the parts kind of ends with a big cutscene. Ship's the end of part 1 where you have that big ship cutscene, and it's supposed to start with a rowboat cutscene kind of similar to this one that we skipped, but this map ends with the cutscene and doesn't end until the cutscene's over, even if we're outside the cutscene. So there's no, you just have to wait for this one. But part 3 is the shortest of the 3 parts and also one of the more technical parts. So, you know, good luck, but you've learned this much this far, so I don't think you'll struggle with it. So this map is the shortest in the whole game. You're just going to grab one of these barrels, walk over here, save before you prime it so that you can reload that save like this, and then just try again if you mess this up. You're going to want to stand not here, like down here in this corner, but up here as far as you can in this corner. You'll aim, you see this line right here? You'll aim where that line touches these bars. So right here, once more, here's the line I'm looking at. Here's where the bars intersect. Throw, tab, tab. And you should get through. If you don't get through, reload your save, hold forward, try again. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I get it. There's nothing more to it than that. There you go. Obviously, you want the box to get stuck in you. If it doesn't get stuck in you and it flies forward like that, or if it breaks, it won't work. So, but I promise there's nothing more to it than just to aim right here, throw, tab, tab. Sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes, it just works every time. Either way, now we're on the next map. This is Percy. You can ignore that. That was an advanced move. But you'll double dagger boost over here. And then here's this ladder. So if you grabbed that mushroom from earlier, then this part will be pretty easy. You could just do a pause launch here. If you didn't grab the mushroom, you're going to have to climb up here. Right where this texture changes from light to dark. You can't really see it that well, but in your game you will. You'll know what I'm talking about. You can jump off and ledge grab. Now be careful, because if you go any bit over to the left or right, you will fall off of that ledge. So we're on the ledge. You have to jump and then item freeze a book. You'll then jump on top of that book, use it as a ledge to climb up onto here. I don't want to ruin the saves, so I'm not going to do it right now. Once you're up here, be very careful, because if you touched this trigger area, you can't crouch under it and you can't jump over it. Once you touch any one of these triggers, it'll start this Duncan cutscene. Once you jump up here, you're going to re-pick back up the book that you dropped right here. So you're going to pick that book back up, and then you're going to item freeze it again. And then this way you can jump on it as a ledge again, and then you can double dagger boost over there and continue on with the level, and that will get you over the trigger. So you can use the book to item freeze and kind of climb up over everything. You can't just climb the ladder all the way to the top, because once you climb the ladder, it puts you off into the cutscene trigger. So if you listen to me and you got the mushroom, you come stand about here, jump, and you item freeze the mushroom instead of the book. Now this pause launch is like around 6 seconds long with no feather falling. It's going to be shorter if you feather fall. Let's go ahead and create a save here and then go ahead and try this. I'm going to do 6 seconds and do no feather fall. We're going to see where that gets us. All right, so you could land up on this. You could go over this trigger and land up on this guardrail. From here, you could do a single boost or a double dagger boost. Double dagger boost is going to be a lot easier. If for whatever reason you need your book that you left behind, or your mushroom that you left behind, if you did use a book to get up here, you could turn around at this point and use telekinesis to grab that item back. Also, while I'm pause launching on this one, I'm going to create a save this time. You can actually go way higher and ledge grab up here to stand up here instead of on the rail. And then from here, you can double dagger boost over here and continue on with the level like that. Either one that you decide to do, you can save load like this and then retry. So that one's, even with feather falling, not getting me very far. So I'm going to do a little bit more. That one was too much, so I'm going to do a little bit less this time. So this time I did enough to get all the way up here. If I reload and just feather fall, maybe I can do enough just to get up here. You see what I'm saying? So another thing you could do is spam space, look straight down, and if you, press telekinesis and then look straight down. You can pick up the mushroom. So I could pause, unpause, telekinesis, look straight down, spam left click. And what that will do is put the mushroom back into your inventory so you could use it for later if you wanted to. So either way, that's how you continue past this section and what blocks you from continuing past this section. Talking about the triggers specifically, the trigger is like the whole obstacle of this area, getting over that trigger. Those are the ways in which you could do it. Once you're over here, there's a couple things you could do. I'll talk about that in the advanced route. The one that I'll recommend to beginners is to go this way, grab one of these, save load to get Running Man with the box, and you're going to prop clip through this wall. You have to jump over this railing because you have to hit this trigger. If you don't hit this trigger, it won't spawn this dude, and you won't be able to beat the map. Because this dude is the guy that we need to beat the map. Like, the end of the map is like all the way over here. And it will not open up without that dude. He needs to open this door. So this is like an escort map. What we're gonna do is jump over this railing, hit the trigger, It'll spawn the dude. Don't have to worry about it, though. This is similar to the first. Wow. He like turned around like, can I help you? Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted. You're gonna look down, then look a little bit up, jump, tab, tab. Should be as easy as that. A backup, you can, oh gosh. If this box breaks, you can use this barrel, but it's a little finicky. Like, it won't always work. The barrels, a little bit of speed with the barrels oftentimes helps. But yeah, you just want to prop clip through this wall. I recommend the box. The box is the most consistent. You just look down, look a little bit up, jump, tab, tab. It should put you right through the wall like this. Once you're through the wall, you're going to come over here. And I don't know if I can show you this guy, but you see how the objective says to kill the Cyclops right there? Also, I kind of just jumped over this giant chasm without making mention of it. If you're a beginner, you might want to come off to the left over here and then boost around. You know, you're going to grab your sword, or you could do it with your daggers too, but the sword I feel is pretty comfy. The advanced route will do it with the daggers, but you're going to kill an invisible Cyclops. Sorry, that kind of came out of nowhere, but I can't show him to you, but I can, because he doesn't have a hitbox, but I can show it to you by showing it to you, by running in. Okay, check it out. So there's an invisible dude here. If I run forward, you can see I'm stopped. I can't move any further forward. If you look at the far left of this pillar, this kind of like lines up with it. So I'm going to go a little bit left, and I can run past it. So here I'm bumping into it by running into it from the right. And here is I'm running into it from the side right here, right? Right around this line right here is where it ends from this side. So here's the front of it. Here's the side of it. Here's the back of it. This is the invisible Cyclops. He's right here. So what I like to do is when I'm over here, I aim for that pillar right around here to go into the side of him. And then I walk around till I'm right here to go into the front of him. And right in the middle of this window, and this window's in like the center of your screen, that's how you know that his eye is right here. So you could damage him by looking straight up. I like to use a sword. You could jump and press ring to auto ready. Like if I'm doing like this, I could just keep ringing. Or actually, you don't even need to ring. You could just jump and left click to auto ready another attack like this. So jump, and just keep doing this until you see you have adrenaline. And then hold left click, release. If you hit him, then pull out your daggers, and then just one swipe, and that should kill him. And you'll see objective done. That's how you know you killed him. He's an invisible Cyclops. Why did I not say that to beginning with? I'm not cutting any of this out. Fuck it. This is who I am. So once you kill the invisible Cyclops, walk up against this door, walk away, and then you're gonna come into your menu. And you're going to buy alertness from the cogwheel menu and magic affinity. Now, here's the bad news, beginners. This is like a 30-second cutscene of this dude running to the end of the level, and you can't really skip it. There is some shit you could do with like barrels at the end that save like 5 seconds of the 30 seconds, but it's just not worth it when you know that in the advanced route, there is a strat that completely skips all of him running over here. You could just immediately teleport this guy to the end of the level. Okay. He just got stuck a little bit there and warped forwards. Either way, as soon as he starts interacting with this door, you can just walk straight through it. He won't come in until he finishes his little animation here. But if you haven't already, buy alertness and magic affinity at this point. You're also going to want to buy heal and sanctuary. You could do that right now, or you could do it after the load. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to come to the star menu, buy heal, buy sanctuary. You can order your inventory however you like. This is how I like it. Sanctuary, you need a magic affinity to use sanctuary, which is why we needed to buy that. It gives you more mana. Sanctuary costs 25 mana. And so you use Sanctuary, it makes you invincible. So you can see it has this little screen effect. And from here, we could do a double dagger boost or a single boost or whatever, but it won't take any fall damage. And you want to just come down through here, go straight through the center of town. You could pick up this barrel, look to the left to keep your speed. Climb this box. Climb on this chain. Jump up here. After you jump off the chain, you press your weapon you want to pull out. So I'm going to press 2 to pull out my daggers. And you'll immediately pull it out, and you can just ready. And then continue on this way. B-hop across this bridge. You want to come over here to this, I guess, bush. Climb on top of it. From here, you can pause launch to the end. Or you could jump and do a double dagger boost and double dagger boost to the end. Or if you don't feel confident doing either of those things, you can single boost over here. and single boost over here. And then you're going to go through this and then up here, and that'll be the next level. If you do feel confident with a double dagger boost, that would look like this. You come up here and we're going to go to the next level. I always like to make a save right here because there's a bunch of zombies out here that can fuck you up. And it's a nice place to make a save if you're going to practice. You're going to want to jump up on here and on this pillar specifically where this fence is. Now we're going to boost to this wood bar. Jump up here. If you can't figure this out, you're just going to have to get past these zombies, go through this door. Same thing, just faster than going through the zombies. Normally, if you go over the wall, here's what it looks like fucking with the zombies. You know, something like that. Not too bad. I'd say it's just as easy to practice doing this. So either way, you're going to, once you make your way up the, either you launch from here to go this way, you want to be right here. Either way you go, you can come up the stairs here. You're going to want to pull out telekinesis once you're over here. Grab this hay bale. Just throw it over here in this direction. Pull out your daggers or sword. Do a single boost. Ledge grab here. Pull back out telekinesis. Make sure you have enough mana for this. Save, you know, just in case you mess it up. Grab this with telekinesis. Right click. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen. It's going to immediately pull out your daggers, right? You're not going to be able to grab the hay bale because of pulling out the daggers. So what you want to do is right click to drop it. Press whatever. Like if you had your sword out, you're going to press your sword button here. If you had your daggers out, you're going to press your daggers button. You just want to press the corresponding weapon you had before ledge grabbing to unequip it. So I had daggers out, so I'm going to press 2. So I'm going to right click, press 2, and then grab. Just like that. Save again at this point. Dude, could you shut up? He's just screaming at me over there on the bridge.
Whenever you're ready.
Bruh. All right, anyway. Jump up here, and then you're going to crouch. You're going to aim at this black dot right here. Dark spot. You're going to release and tab. Okay? Normally when I go super slow, it doesn't work. I don't know what's up with that, but just jump up here, aim at the black dot, release, and then daggers. Kind of do it fast and just hope it works, and it should. Yes? Boom, boom, boom. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, we're just going to continue on. Hopefully that makes sense. Just wind it back in slow motion and you should be able to figure it out. Either way, you're going to come in through here. If you just send it, you'll be in this water and you'll have to swim over. This isn't a big deal, but you can't just swim in this corner. You'll get like stuck here. You have to like swim over top the stairs to get up, or you can swim over here to the ledge of the stairs. You could climb. So this level requires a mantle warp. Technically doesn't require it, but it's again heavily recommended. You're going to save. You could boost over here. Careful to grab this body. You can't just grab like the leg or the arm or anything. If you do grab like the leg and you try to save load, it's going to just let go of the body after a while like that. I didn't do anything, but it just let go of it. So how you avoid that is by grabbing the torso. So you aim specifically at the torso and now it will not drop. So you could take this body with us. I'm going to show the mantle warp first because you listen to me. You just need to do it. If you have enough mana potions, you can use Sanctuary here because there is a dragon who's going to shoot you with lightning. And he can be a little bit annoying to deal with. So Sanctuary will make it easy to not just die while you're doing this. But you walk up here, you get up here, you get up on this rock and walk forward and you freeze the body around about here. Like you want him to be up like in the tree essentially. Not too much. It does matter where the body is, so you don't want it to be too much over in this area or the warp won't work. Similarly, you don't want it too far forward or the warp won't work. Either way, you get him frozen here in this tree, and then you're gonna try to. This tree is really annoying, but you're gonna do the buttons for doing the warp like that, and then you'll be here. Don't go too far to the right, or you'll spawn this cut. You'll start this cutscene where you spawn Lich Liana. And you'll have to do the whole Lich Liana fight, and that's super. Oh, you don't have to do it, but like it'll be annoying. She'll get in your way. That's it about it. I don't think I have any more tips for the mantle warp per se. It's like make sure you use Sanctuary like this. I'd say like getting up here and creating a save pretty immediately is a good idea. You can climb it from this side. You could also get over here and climb it from the right side like this. Doesn't really matter how you do it. If you end up standing up on the tree, it's like. There's not a lot of advice I can give you about that. It's just going to be a little annoying. I will say that if you stop being able to jump or climb the tree, then you should right click because you're probably holding the body and you just don't know it yet. So like at any point, if I like grab the body and I can't jump anymore, You know, that's why. You just have to right click to let go of the body. There we go. You can't ledge grab. That's what it is. You can't ledge grab if you grab the body. So if you find you're not ledge grabbing, just right click probably are holding the body. The body can sometimes lose its hitbox like this, which is the reason why you want to make the save. I've never seen him do this move where he's just waving. Come on in, the water's warm. Either way, make a save here and just in case some weird fuck shit happens. But yeah, do your warp here. And then what you'll do is you can book clip through by standing in the middle and then walking forward until this disappears on the left side of your screen. When it disappears, you pause load or you what's it called? Item freeze a book and then do a book clip right here to get through the gate. If you don't like the book clip, you could just grab this gate, interact with it, stand in the very far corner right here. This gate will kill you, unlike the other gate. Make sure you have full mana, Sanctuary, and then you slip your head under here. If I didn't have Sanctuary, I'll turn it off. You can see it instantly crushes me. So once you're through the gate, either through book clipping or through slipping underneath it, that is the end of the level right there. Like you just walk down the stairs and the end of the level is right there. So I'm going to cover really quickly. If you don't want to do the mantle warp, I really recommend you do not even watch this section. But here we go. You're going to come over here. You can come all the way up here. You're going to climb up here. You're going to try to get into this window. It's a little finicky to get into the window. This guy could be shooting at you, so you're going to want to probably Sanctuary while you do this part. You're going to interact with this cog, and it's going to open that gate over there. There we go. I kind of got a view of it opening. You can see over there it's opening. Once it's opened enough, you're going to try to double dagger boost through and feather fall over the Lich Liana fight cutscene. All right. If you hit this thing, it should kill your speed. You're trying to get past this trigger. You do not want to hit this trigger specifically. There's a couple ways to get over it. I mean, you could single boost over here to this, and then from here double dagger boost on in. Again, Sanctuary will make it where you don't take fall damage, so you don't have to worry about the fall damage aspect. I know I said if you hit this, you shouldn't take fall damage, but I'm kind of stupid, so I forgot about Sanctuary. Yeah, if you're in Sanctuary, it shouldn't matter. You should just be able to go like this, and you'll be fine. What you can do is jump, item freeze a book, and then jump on that book to jump over the cutscene like that. It is a little finicky to do, but this is, you know, just learn the mantle warp and you won't have to worry about any of it, okay? And then I guess while you're here, I'll show you the book clip. Doesn't matter really much. You can skip this part, go to the next level. All right, so here we are. Istvan, the beginning of the end, as it were. So this level has a mantle warp in it, and if you're not comfortable with the mantle warps, then you're probably not going to want to learn that part. So we're going to start with the non-mantle warp section. As soon as you exit here, it'll start a whole cutscene where Zana is yelling at you, and then it'll flash to white, so you have to keep that in mind. Here, you're going to jump in this window, use Sanctuary, and you could use Ring to just make sure that you land over here somewhere safe. Come over here. There's about 5 mana potions in here, I believe. Or it's just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you need mana potions for the next upcoming section. If you're not comfortable with mantle warps at all, you're definitely going to need these mana potions. If you are comfortable, you probably won't need them. But that's where they are in case you do need some extra mana potions at this point. They're out. You'll come through this section, this area. You need to weapon boost across this gap. That was hilarious. It is possible to pause launch across the gap right here. But again, I just recommend you weapon boost. It's much easier. Weapon boosting into this rock. You can double dagger boost from right here. This is the end of the level. You just have to walk forward and you'll be able to end the level. You could also B-hop up here. You can't just jump up here. Like if I just press space, it won't work. But if I kind of try to B-hop at the top of the jump window, you can get up here. It's a little tricky, but that's how you do it. And then that'll make it even easier to get up here. You won't have to double dagger boost. You could just single boost. All right, I disabled AI so I could explain this section a little easier. So once you're over here, jump up here. If you just press up against it and jump, this will happen. So be careful there. Just jump up, B-hop up here. A little finicky. And then from here, you can single boost over there. From down here, you can double dagger boost over here. And then if neither of those are good for you and you're struggling, over here where these necromancers are, you can really run over here, break this rope. It'll lower this. Then you could just climb this chain and get out here like this. Either way, you're going to walk forward and end the level. All right, so if you did want to do the mantle warp, best and fastest way to do it would be to double dagger boost from here to climb over here. And then it's this, I'm going to disable AI. It's this rock right here. You'll have this necromancer and this necromancer here messing with you. So it'll be a little annoying, but I believe in you. You're going to go from about here and you're going to get set up like this. Now you can just do the binds like ring grab, and it should warp you from this rock down into this room, which is the final room. This is the final area we were talking about, except it's going to warp you all the way up here onto this section. From up here, you can single boost across the top of this big section until you get over here. And then from here, you can just drop down in really easily. So the mantle warp's definitely the fastest way to beat this level. Because you could just go like this, you could go like this, you could go like this, you b-hop across. You could b-hop all the way to the end like that, you know? Super simple, super fast. You know, depending on your binds, it might be easier to do it from one direction to the other. Like, it might be easier to do it like this with my binds, and it might be easier to do it like this with your binds. But you notice the rock isn't here. So what I recommend to you, if you need, is to go like this, come over here, telekinesis, grab the rock, and then do it similar to the pot from Spider, where you do it with telekinesis. And then once you're here, I mean, it's just, you could do a double dagger boost if you feel comfortable. You can run into this pole to stop you. Go like this. There's a lot of options once you've actually done the warp. You could even do something like that. It is possible to load into this without dying. Halfway through the load screen, you have to press Sanctuary, and you'll load in with Sanctuary active. If you don't have enough mana, you can also press your potion bind and your sanctuary bind like at the same time to use a potion and use sanctuary. So that's how you could survive if you're falling with a lot of speed into a low zone like that. All right, we're on to the next map. So if you're a beginner, what I think you should do is just go up the stairs. Careful here, there is another one of these elevated things or pieces of land that slam the doors closed on either side of you and start a series of flames that'll aim to kill you. There is an area that you can stand up there that'll protect you if that does happen. Like if you get up here, you can come up here and wait it out. But ideally, you don't have to do that because it would waste a lot of time. So you could just jump over that section. And then if you can, you should jump up here, grab this body. And then kind of like left click, throw them up here. And then you can see how I can climb this. You know where this is going? That's right. You're going to do a mantle warp. And then you're going to interact with this lever. And you're going to use Sanctuary. You're going to drop down here. And you're at the end of the level. But let's say that you hate the mantle warps, right? Like you really don't want to do them. You're going to come over here. You're going to Sanctuary. You're going to drop down. There's going to be 2 guards here, as well as more in the room. These 2 guards control a gate over here. There we go. They're both dead. That will raise... They're holding this gate, which also has like 4 more dudes behind it. But I think once we go through here, it'll lock them out of the room. So they won't be able to fuck with you. So either way, when you come through here, it's going to spawn 4 liches. The AI is off so I can show you them right now. It's going to spawn this dude, this dude, this dude, and this dude. The easiest way to kill them is to use this rock and then just bop them in the fucking head. You're going to kill these dudes. If they go like this, that's how you know they're dying. Where they like raise up into the air. He's dead. I believe he's dead. Okay, so I'm out of mana. The pots that I pointed out earlier is exactly how you're going to do that. These pots earlier, like this is the whole reason I brought them up. Is for that Lich's fight if you can't do the mantle warps. Kill these guys. You'll have enough mana to get the job done now. And I think that's all of them. Once you've killed all 4 of them, I only had to use 3 mana potions for that. The door will open. Once the door opens, you come inside far enough. I didn't go far enough. And it'll automatically close the door. So you want to go in as quick as you can. And then it'll open this other big door. You're going to want a sanctuary because we're going to drop down past this. Try to avoid these chains. And we're at the end of the level again. Mana potion right there on the ground if you need it. But yeah, now we're on to the last level. All right, guys, this is it. Last level is not a hard level. You're just going to weapon boost here, double dagger boost, whatever you want. You just need to get to the end. You're going to sanctuary here. If you stand right here in this corner, it'll bait him out of the way. Otherwise, if he's right here, you can just walk up and kick him out of the way. You can't grab this normally, but if you crouch and you aim at the chin, you can grab it, and then you can put it back in to get the quickest ending. All right, so like I said, you're just going to use whatever you can to get over here. You're going to use sanctuary. Let's say that you're out of sanctuary. Let's say worst case scenario, you get here, you're out of sanctuary. There's a couple things you could do. The easier way to land is to double dagger boost onto this thing. It's angled, so you should be able to like surf on it. You see what I'm saying? So as long as you hit this thing from the front at all, like you should be able to land on it. Probably even a single boost do fine. Yeah. Okay, so you can kind of aim for this actually, and I think that you don't die. Either way, I think I've said enough about how you can survive the fall. You tickle his chin, you just spam click on it, and it'll end the game, and that's it. The timer will just automatically end whenever that happens. That is Dark Messiah, any percent inbounds, beginner route.